All right, so we're back for part 2 here. I'm talking about cell phones. Cell phones are in every kid in middle school and high school's hand. Every teacher has them. And some of the issues that we're starting to find are related to cell phones. And a couple of things that have happened recently in the state and around the country. We've had teachers, we had a situation where a teacher had her cell phone out on her desk and then walked across the room to work with some other kids. A student went over to her desk, grabbed her cell phone, looked at her picture file, and found nude pictures of the teacher. He forwarded those pictures to his phone, put her phone back right where he found it, and she did not know. The next day, the principal called her in and said, "Why does every student at this school have a naked picture of you all of a sudden?" She had no idea. They figured it out, and the kid was punished, but now a naked picture of this teacher is everywhere on the campus, and that's a bell that cannot be unrung. We had another teacher who handed her cell phone over to some students who wanted to show him a video. And the last thing that he was looking at was pornography, and that was seen by the students. His personal phone, nothing illegal that he did, but it was careless with the phone, and it became a sensation with the kids. Those are the types of things that we're starting to see. If you have the time, do a Google search of angry teacher on YouTube and watch how many videos of that kids have taken surreptitiously with their cell phones of teachers having a bad day. Make sure you are enforcing the cell phone policies in your classroom. Make sure that the kids are aware of those policies and that you are aware of those policies. And here is a story about a cell phone. This is from October of last year, 2012, with a teacher who wasn't aware of how her cell phone was connected to other technology in her classroom. And I apologize, you're going to have to watch a short commercial before this video. I don't know how to get it off, but anyway, enjoy.
This spring on News Channel 5 comes a medical drama unlike any you've seen before. Go inside St. Louis Children's Hospital for 6 gripping Saturday nights. The Front Line for Hope, March 16th on News Channel 5.
And a picture showed up of the teacher, topless.
13-year-old Joshua Trout is talking about an incident that occurred at Highland Middle School. He and 3 other students were in their classroom playing a game called Flow on a school-issued iPad. He said one of the students pressed a button and a photograph of his teacher's bare chest was revealed.
It's not our fault that she had the photo on there. And, we couldn't do anything to not look at it if it just popped up when he pressed the button. It was her fault that she had the photo on there because her iPhone synced to it. She had to press something to make all of her photos sync onto there.
The school district has a handbook that offers guidelines for the use of technology. Assistant Superintendent Beth Clark told me the technology use policy was followed. What happened was quite by accident. Nevertheless, Trout and several other students have been suspended and threatened with expulsion. His mother thinks her son is not being treated fairly.
He didn't even touch the iPad. It was another kid who pulled the picture up on the iPad. He never even touched it, period.
And you think that's unfair?
Very unfair.
Trout's outrage didn't stop there.
In all reality, you would think she'd be fired. Because that's a nude picture in the school that the students seen.
So, again, a careless error, but turns into a news story on television. Websites. If you have a personal website, and these are becoming less and less popular with the increase of Facebook now, But if you do have a personal website, make sure that it is separate from your school stuff. Make sure that the content is clean, that the links are clean, and don't go to anything that's pornographic or violent or anything like that. I had a teacher that I worked with in another district that had a website that had some links on it, a bunch of different links. And one of those links went to a web page that had another series of links. And if you click the right link, it went to another web page that had a series of links, that one of those was pornographic. So you had to follow the right series of links to get to the pornography site. This teacher was taken out of school for months while they did an investigation, and he sat at home and waited while the investigation went on, and every day wondering when the district was calling and if they were going to fire him. So he was ultimately put back in the classroom, but that's months of angst and stress that nobody should have to deal with. And a lot of these stories really depend on how the administration deals with the situation. And these are extreme examples that I'm giving you, but they paint a picture of how an administrator can react to something when parents get upset about something, or if they have a different idea of what they think is appropriate. So the state has recognized some of the issues that are going on with students with cyberbullying. And this is a law that passed in January of 2013, or actually became law in 2013. And it directs school districts to create board policies to deal with students that have been using cyberbullying. Conejo Valley has done this. We have a contract, and one of the articles in the contract is safety. The district is obligated to provide a safe working environment for you. And if a student is harassing you or trying to intimidate you using social media, it is the district's responsibility to enforce their policies with that student. We can use the contract to help push their hand if they haven't done so. So board policy, reiterating in one sentence what I've been talking about for the last 20 some odd minutes, and we'll talk about for the next 5 or so minutes. You have to be responsible for the technology in your classroom, and that the students in your classroom are using it appropriately as well. This is a board policy about students not being able to harass, cyberbully personnel or other students. But we get into an interesting discussion now, because we had a teacher in a local school district here that this was probably 10 or 15 years ago, where a student had a website where he was soliciting ways to kill his teacher and get away with it. The union got involved. We called the police. We talked to the administration. We called attorneys. And everywhere we went, we heard that it is the student's First Amendment right to have that website. And because he was not directly threatening the teacher, it was okay. He didn't say, "I'm going to kill my teacher." He was just soliciting ways to do it. Now, believe me, if a teacher had a website where he or she was soliciting ways to kill his or her students and get away with it, the situation would be handled very differently. And in all of these situations that you saw the videos for and all the stories that I've told, in virtually any other profession, the situation would have been handled very differently. And one extreme example is the woman in Oxnard who had a career in the porn industry prior to becoming a teacher and lost her credential as a result of it. She didn't do anything illegal. She didn't do anything while she was teaching. It happened before it, when she was an adult. She didn't do anything illegal, but she doesn't have a credential anymore because of it. And that's a philosophical discussion, but think of any other profession where that would have happened. Nurse, firefighter, garbage collector, politician, any of those other professions, those people would probably still keep their job if they had a career in pornography. But because we are around students, teachers are held to a different standard. This is from the Education Code, and these are the reasons for dismissal. And right here, number 1, unprofessional conduct, is the mercurial wording that allows a teacher to lose his or her credential over something like being a porn star. It's my definition of unprofessional conduct is different than yours and different than the people that are sitting on the credentialing panel. So we have to be very careful, and we have to be mindful that we are held to a different standard by society. Right or wrong, it's our reality. And this is the rest of that code. So you see all the different pieces. So, are you second guessing using technology? Good, because you should be very leery of it with how ubiquitous it is and how easy it is to get tripped up by it, and the blending of your private life with your public life, your work life with your home life. It's so easy to do now, and we have to be very mindful of how we're drawing those lines and keeping them very distinct. Be smart about technology and use it. Districts are requiring teachers to use more and more technology. The new Common Core assessments are going to be on the computer. The work environment that everybody is going into, that the kids are expected to know, is very technology heavy. So we have to teach it, but we need to be smart about how we're blending our worlds together with it. What should you do? You should know how all of your devices are connected in your classroom. Are you connected through Wi-Fi on district? Are you using a cell phone tower? The equipment you're using, does it belong to the PFC or the PTA? Is it district? Is it yours? And know where your stuff is at all time. If you have a tablet, know where it's at and know who's on it and know what the kids are using it for. If you have a computer that is not password protected, put a password on it. We're finding that nighttime custodial crews will sometimes find computers that teachers don't have passwords on and use that for their own personal business or other entertainment of sorts. And we recommend you use your work equipment just for work stuff. So don't access your personal stuff on work time or with a school district computer. And review the rules with your students at least once a semester. It keeps the ideas at the front of your mind. It keeps the ideas in the front of their mind, and it's a good way just to keep everybody on their toes. And if you're on social media, using social media, ask yourself, if you're posting something, why am I doing this? Who's going to see it? How would this list of people react if they saw it? And increasingly, we're finding, what time did you post it? If you're posting it at midnight and you've had a couple of glasses of wine, you're tired and a little tipsy, and your judgment may not be 100%, and posting rants about your students on Facebook could get you into trouble. So just be very, very careful with it. This is our contact info for Colleen and me. We have our numbers there, our emails there, and you can always reach us through all 4 of those things. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, please contact us. Take care.